I jumped on the wall here, and today we've got a 7-year disaster battle playing as Claw, going up against Tilia. So, it's pretty early on in the campaign. He's already used up all of his nukes, or he's just doesn't have any. And we're up against pretty much 2 full stacks, or maybe just a little bit less than that. But yeah, it's still pretty early game stuff. That being said, half of our army is just Skaven slaves. We do have some rattling guns, which of course be very valuable. It would be good for us to be able to deny their reinforcements, but that's not an option. We're definitely going to need some menace belows. He's already got plenty of food, so that's fine. If we win here, we should get 20 food back. He's got Claw on a Doomflayer. Now, normally I'd say that was a mistake. It's a waste of a point, especially on Claw. However, in a previous disaster battle, the Lord was on a Doomflayer and actually did really well for us, so it might actually be useful in this battle. I still definitely think that Doom Wheel is the way to go. Claw's been reasonably well leveled up, it seems, because he's already got the second Wind Serum, which is really good. So we'll be able to regenerate his hit points. I think Claw's going to make a big difference here. It's basically going to come down to Claw, the Rattling Guns, and the Plague Claw Catapults. That's about it. The Skaven Slaves are just there as meat shields. That's all they're there for. And we'll just do the best we can. And if we lose, our army gets wiped out, and basically means GG for this person in his campaign. Because it's very early. Doesn't have a lot of territory. So I imagine this would probably be his best or only army. And it's on legendary difficulty. Getting a lot of Skaven campaigns sent in, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all, but I'm just a bit concerned that other people are like, ugh, more Skaven battles. It's like, yeah, well, that's what people are playing these days. What do I not get very much of? Disaster battles wise. Don't get much Beastman stuff. Because I just don't think people play Beastman. What's some other ones that I just very rarely get? Don't get that many Lizardmen ones. I think it's just due to the fact that people are maybe a bit more competent with Lizardmen. I get plenty of Empire ones. Vampire count ones are more or less all the same. Don't get that many Tomb King ones. And very rarely get a Vampire Coast one. Alright, let's go out there and see what we can do. Don't get very many Norska ones either. Based on this, we're definitely not in Skaven Blight, or else we would have gotten some free Menace Blows. We must be on our way to Tilia. Might be in the region already, and he got attacked. And was that not Settlement Garrison? I'm not sure, I didn't really read the situation that much. Of course, we don't want to pop this down on one unit. I want them to be in a blob. Just trying to think how best to go about that. If I pop this down and then also pop down the brass orb, that could work. Can't get too close due to those handgunners. See, I was concerned that was going to happen. Try this. Those guys will break immediately, but could make for a good... they're more or less ignoring him. So that's a bit of a waste. Just trying to probe them for any weaknesses. They're just not really popping many out at the moment. So I'm going to get to here, and then the artillery can hit the... why aren't they, though? Good, we just wanted one shot. That'll more or less get rid of him. Alright, that's reasonably well blobbed up. Seems like a good spot. Guess we use the menace belows on the artillery. Yeah, that makes sense. Not yet. Actually, yeah, just put them on fire at will. Seems like they're coming in pretty heavy on this flank over here. AI always goes wide if they can, which... I don't know. It's neither good nor bad, it's just, that's what they always do. Just noticing we're not really taking any damage. Maybe it's just that it's hard to hit the Doomflayer. I'm not sure, but this is actually working out reasonably well. Yeah, keep them shooting so that they're basically... We want to try to deal with the enemy in waves. Let the melee infantry come in first so that our rattling guns can sort out them, and then we'll worry about the missile units later. Slow him down there, please. Maybe you should get back here. Okay, let's start sending in these Skaven slaves as meat shields. Alright. And him... Yeah, get him to tie them down for the time being. Artillery need to be aiming for the missile units now, because that's far more valuable than their melee troops. Their melee troops are, you know, shit. Better than our troops still. That's working out pretty nicely there. Oh, damn it. Left too much of a gap over here. Need to get rid of this one here specifically. Alright, let's bring the Doomflayers into flank in there now. Because the Skaven slaves aren't going to hold for much longer. See, Skaven slaves hold for a pretty decent amount of time. As long as they're not overwhelmed by numbers. That's why getting shitloads of them works out really well, actually. You know, in the early game. Obviously, you don't want to be getting Skaven slaves in the late game. Alright, we gotta be doing something about these gunners. We don't want them shooting at all at our missile troops. We need them the most. Where's their general? Can't see where he went. I don't think we killed him. No, he's... It's not him, it's a witch hunter. Alright, most of their melee units are gone now. Most of them, not all of them. And start pushing them back. Bit of a concern here still. Attack wherever they're most concentrated. Good, enemy lord's dead, but that was just a reinforcing one. I don't know where the main lord is. He's somewhere. And looks like we inflicted the army losses penalty. Cool. Yeah, I'm starting to be a little bit convinced that the Doomflayer is actually not that bad. I still really like the Doom Wheel. Just because it is a stronger unit, but the thing is, the Doomflayer being a smaller unit makes them harder to hit. Because he barely took any damage on that. The only ones that really took any significant damage are Skaven Slaves, and who cares about them? That's the great thing about Skaven Slaves. When you lose it, it doesn't matter as long as you win the battle. That's all that matters, because like, it's so cheap to just recruit more. Even in global recruitment, it's just not a problem. We should probably try to aim for that hero there, more than their other missile units. Although the gunners are a big problem. They weren't a huge problem in this battle though. I don't know. Yeah, the Rattling guns of course did very well. They always do really well. Unless the terrain is horrifyingly bad, they usually get good kills. Not gonna kill him, and he'll probably regenerate all of his health before the next battle anyway, assuming he's in friendly territory, which I am kind of assuming. Because I haven't seen the situation on the campaign map yet. I have no idea where we are. All I know is we couldn't possibly be in Skaven Blight. But one big downside to having Skaven slaves is after the battle, when taking on captives, because you take so many casualties, you don't really get that many back. Whereas if you go with like all Warplock Jezzails and Rattling guns, because there's so few entities in the army, when you take captives, you can usually regenerate all of your casualties in one go. Which is another reason why I don't get Storm Vermin. For one thing, I reckon Storm Vermin, at least on Legendary difficulty, are actually one of the least cost-effective units in the game. They don't hold the line for very well. Of course, they're better than Clan Rats, but that's nothing to compare yourself to, really. But in terms of a melee infantry, they just don't hold very long, and they don't do much damage, and there's just better solutions. I reckon the best solution is actually Plague Priests. You just spam Vermintides. It's so good. Because, like, even if they get annihilated, it doesn't matter. Next battle they come in, it just wins of magic. Alright, so let's have a look. Yeah, so 9% is actually not too bad. And we got all the food back. Yep, captives 20. And you're just about at your max food capacity, so I'll get this. No, you've taken... Alright, so you are actually in friendly territory. It's just that you just captured some of Tilia. Right, I see. And they're still considered stronger than you. Well, you can attack them, finish them off, and that's all good. And what I'd recommend is obviously merge the Skaven slaves and just recruit new ones. Don't bother waiting for them to replenish. There's not like they're experienced or anything. Although they are. Oh no, it just failed to update straight away. Well, basically, from this point on, you can basically auto-resolve your way into there. Hopefully you get some ambushes so that you get to have multiple battles. Now look, let's look at how you've leveled him up. So you've prioritized this stuff first. You really don't need Lightning Strike. That's fine. It's not necessarily ideal because Claw's got so many really awesome abilities that you can't get everything. While Lightning Strike is a good ability, you do have really high ambush success chance, because this is correct. This here, correct, that's good, I guess. These here, that's correct. Again, I question the Doomflayer. I think a Doomflayer is better, sorry, Doom Wheel is better, but doesn't really matter. And I would go down the magic road, just because Crack's Call is actually very powerful, and Unlimited Power is also really good. And otherwise, it all looks like it's all under control. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time, fuckers.